And boom. Welcome everyone. Mate talk time. Good to be before you all. Hoping everybody is well. Awesome drink. Mine is my mate. Hope you have something cool. It's been great seeing the photos that the people have been sending in. There's a mate in the background. I'm like, yes, we're slowly converting the world. All right, announcements for today at the end of the review. One is we will be doing that spin for the 200 episode, so finally we're there. Also doing a member spin, becoming a member. What does that mean? I'll also share more about that. And last week I did a thing called Movie Sense. I was super nervous. For those who watched the video, you could see that I was like, I don't know, on edge. It was more that I was fearful that the idea wouldn't stick and that I would get a lot of like, what are you doing? But in the end, actually, the opposite is true. People who watched that episode really enjoyed it and have already made some suggestions for the next movie sent. I would like to do a short list and I'll tell you more at the end. Okay, so there's a mixture of ideas with the concept that I have before me here, which is about fragrances to take on with you while you're traveling. This could be for a holiday, this could be for a working holiday. And it's across the world. So I want to cover Northern Hemisphere, but also Southern Hemisphere. And I also want to do the tropics, a bit of humidity and all that sort of stuff. So I've got a really nice collection. Why am I doing, why am I setting this up? Not so much why am I doing this, but why the setup? The setup was because I missed out on Exons, but I missed out because I chose to. So I'm very much about feeling, and I'm very much about letting the universe sort of guide. And it would have been probably near the end of last year. I knew Exons was coming on. I had it on my calendar. I definitely wanted to go, but I had a feeling that it wasn't gonna. The answer was going to be no. I had a feeling already, like the universe was slowly painting a no in the sky. But my intellect was going, no, we can do this. Let's go. It turns out, obviously, I didn't go. There's some really great things as to behind the scenes that's happening. It's all to do with olfactive travel and some new things that we're coming up with. So hence why we had to stay put and make sure that in the end, it was the best decision not going. Even though I'm not an envious person, so I love looking at all the photos that we're going through. I relished, enjoyed, and had joy of all the people that were there. But naturally, at the same time, I'm not a saint. I would have loved to have been there. Don't get me wrong. Having said that, though, so this is the motivation for today, is I'm now manifesting to the future, talking to the universe to see if I can get a yes written in the sky for some of these locations that I'd like to go, and these will be the fragrances that I will take. In mapping out the fact that I didn't go to Milan, then I'm already going, right, I want to go to these places, and these are the fragrances that I will take. Now, this is what I would suggest to you. If you go into these places, you must have these. It's a requirement. But even so, even if you're not going anywhere, these are beautiful fragrances that you can enjoy no matter where you are. Let me begin. Was that a good setup? So just so you get an idea as to why this is happening. Actually, Sandra helped me out to go, you should do, hers was very straightforward. It was fragrances to go on holiday with, whereas for me, it's about manifesting and just going, I want to be in these places in the near future. I do want to go back to Milan, and I do want to be at Exons, and I do want to wear this again. This is Dolce Milano. It's a fragrance that Kevin and I created. I wore this, so we had our Italy tour last year. I got off the plane and I had a little traveler, and I sprayed Dolce Milano on me, and I went straight to the Duomo area. I took this photo here. I was being silly, like, where's the Duomo? And for me, when I smell this, it transports me to the Duomo region. There is something about, have a look at the sky in this photo, and I've been looking at photos from everybody who's been posting in that area. Milan has a certain color blue, and I don't know whether this is an imagination. I don't think it is. My feeling is that the light is very particular, and I find that Milan and Rome have very particular light. Whenever I take photos or videos there's a certain color that is just gorgeous. It's perfect for filming. And for me, this is what it is. When I spray this, I can see the setting. I can see blue. It's about bringing joy and happiness into my life. The great thing about Dolce Milano is it starts off as a a sweet, gourmand-esque fragrance. It is, we wanted to tip our hat towards panettone, but we didn't want to create a panettone fragrance. So on the opening, it does have this is what we told Luca. Open up a bag of panettone, and the first scents that come through, that's what we want as part of our opening. So the candied orange, the caramelized almond, the rum, sort of the slight rum that comes through, a little bit of vanilla and a bread-like quality to it. So that's exactly it. You spray this, and it gives you this quick invitation to, think of panettone and take you to this location. The other part that we wanted is when it dries down, not to remain as a gourmand fragrance. Don't turn into a vanilla or something too heavy like you're wearing in dessert. In fact, it goes to a very dry, very woody sandalwood fragrance. So there is a touch, it's a dry sandalwood fragrance with a touch of vanilla. I like to compare it to, for those who like Vanilla Powder by Matière Première, it has a very similar dry down in that it is a very vanilla, woody, sandalwood-esque sort of a feeling to it, and the same thing happens here. You are getting a little bit of those earlier notes, in particular the candied orange, but it does dry into a beautiful sandalwood fragrance. This is your going out, this is exploring the city, this is, if it's an overtly hot day, I don't recommend it, but then if it is an overtly hot day, then this is perfect for the evening. Nice warm skin, this baby just projecting with a touch of that vanilla. Just gorgeous. If you'd like to know more, here's Olfactive Traveler. Jump on, check it out. We do have the Traveler that's part of it, so you can test out all 3 fragrances that we have. There's more coming down the line, so I'm excited to share more in the coming weeks when it comes to all things Olfactive Traveler. Recently, just to give you a bit of a heads up, so let me quantify, because you're going, there could be some eye rolls out there going, yeah, but this is your baby. Of course, you're going to talk nice about your baby. During last year, we wanted to partner with a really nice bakery, a local bakery that creates a artisanal panettone. There were 3 bakeries that I went to. The very first one that I presented smelled the fragrance, saw the concept that we had, and instantly said yes. Literally, I finished my meetings that day, that evening, I really got a yes from them. So, and we said to all 3 bakeries, whoever says yes to us first, that's the one we're gonna respect and go with. Turns out the second bakery I went to wanted to participate, but needed to organize themselves, and unfortunately missed out. Now, it turns out this gentleman, his name is Franco, and he's an Argentinian also. And anyway, we stayed in contact. I said, look, I'm really sorry, out of respect to the first bakery, I can't do it, but let's talk for next year. So as in this year, we're gonna do something. He reached out to me again, probably about a week ago, and he's like, Marcelo, can we catch up? Because I can't find Dolce Milano anywhere, and I cannot get it out of my brain since when you came to visit me. The full story was that he opened up his book where he had written his notes, and the strip was in there. And he grabbed the strip and smelt it, and like the woody gourmand, the panettone-esque sort of feeling, and he's like, I need this fragrance. Aussies, if you're local, just to let you know, we're on, my mission at the moment is we have beginning to roll that into retail. So there will be retail partners that we're working with when it comes to Olfactive Traveler. Anyway, so he said, like, where can I buy it? I can't find it anywhere. I said, rest assured. So I went to see him. I'm happy to say that Franco is now a proud owner of Dolce Milano, along with the others. When he smelled the others, and he's like, well, these are great. I'm going to be doing filming with Franco. We're going to be going to his bakery probably in a couple of weeks' time. He's one of the mates of Marcelo, and I want to put a bit of a spotlight on the work that he's doing there. Boom. But anyway, Dolce Milano, check it out. Aussies, if you want to smell it locally, I will give you some addresses very soon. We're just sort of finalizing with some retail partners at the moment. I will be in Paris this year, and that's in preparation for the upcoming France tour, the South of France fragrance tour that we're doing. And the fragrance that I would recommend, now this one here is gorgeous and classic for anybody, anytime, but if you happen to be in Paris, this is the one you have to have. This is Penhaligons. This is the Duchess. Now there is a companionship, so there's the Duchess and the Duke. Actually, here's the episode on it. For those men who are not comfortable with a more floral rose, then I would recommend to use a Duke. It's a lot more drier, it's a lot more peppery, a bit more woody. But honestly, I would just say spray this. This is really, really special. It has this light rose touch. So in no way is it ever anything too overtly floral or overtly feminine or anything of that nature. It's a fragrance I love to wear. Think of it as a clean, crisp rose. So think of like a clean, soapy skin, like bright laundry and fresh laundry of like a bright sunshine, things of that nature. This is all of this particular fragrance. Have a look at that episode. I go into a lot more detail, but the essence of the fragrance is that it starts off with a beautiful fruity touch. To me, I get like a citrusy mandarin sort of scent profile, and then it moves to this beautiful sort of rosy green touch, and then finally to a musky rose element to it. When it dries on skin, the smell is like, it's kissable. Sounds weird, doesn't it? But it's a type of smell because there's a blend between that rose and the sort of the touch of that fruitiness, and then the musk element that gives you the semblance of skin, that you just want to nuzzle up to this. You just want to bury your face in this skin. You almost want to bite it. It's just really, it's sublime. So it's more ethereal than it is a deep, heavy rose. It's more in the air, it's atmospheric. There's again, a sense of sunshine to it. For me, I find that Paris is very, and for those people who don't like Paris, I mean, I love Paris, but I've got friends who they avoid Paris as much as I can. For me, Paris is a fragrant city. There is beautiful perfume everywhere. And I find that the locals wear a very subdued, very ethereal, very airy, beautiful sillages. Many times I've had people, whether it's men or women, walk past me, and the trail of perfume that comes off them is very sublime, very, very light, nothing, no ouds or anything heavy. But there's it's a perfume city. It's just beautiful. So for me, this is that type of fragrance. It's in the air. It makes you want to fall in love. It has a beautiful trail to it. It has for me, it has great longevity. 12 plus hours. I was saying in that episode that the Duke seems to be, even though it has woods and more heavier notes, seems to be a little bit more constrained, whereas I find that the Duchess really pushes itself out and sort of celebrates the atmosphere better. Big recommendation. Anyway, I'm in Paris. This is what I'm bringing with me. So the Duchess is coming with me, which I look forward to. All right, how am I doing? Good. All right, let me move on. The next place that I am manifesting out to the world, or to the universe, is I want to be in New York, and in particular, obviously, for Scent Explorer. I do want to go. Actually, I'll come to that in a second. I want to go to Scent Explorer. The truth is, I just want to be back in New York. It's the one thing that I love about New York is its eclectic, crazy nature. When I first, my most memorable experience was when I first went to New York. I was traveling with Sandra and my son. They were so tired, they stayed in the hotel. I walked out, we were next door to Grand Central. I turned right and I wandered. I just walked, and everywhere, here's some of the photos. These are photos I took on this little sort of pilgrim, I guess, across New York. And it was exciting at every corner I turned to see something new and something different, something familiar, something like unique. So for me, you need, and this is my opinion, you need a fragrance that is very chameleon-like. That's just gonna not necessarily be a thing, so be one particular sort of format. You need something that's just gonna blend and mold no matter where you are, where you end up in New York, that it's going to suit you and fit with the location. I would recommend to you Cotton Musk. This is by Monegal, and this is the fragrance I'm wearing today. I cannot get enough of this fragrance. I've been spraying it nonstop. It's great as a winter fragrance, great as a summer fragrance, great as an evening fragrance, as a day fragrance. So this is something that anybody can actually wear. I've mentioned many times, I do love a beautiful musky fragrance. I don't like anything animalic, I do like animalic musky fragrances, but if I'm gonna wear a day-to-day fragrance, I do love more, everyone calls them white musks, but you know, it's like a molecular sort of musk. So there's a constructed note, basically. What I find with this here is that it does and the reason why I love it, sorry, let me go back. The reason why I love that kind of musk is that it blends in with me now. So it accentuates my Marcelo-ness, and then it sort of layers on top with its own, the molecular musk, and with other pieces, and it becomes something quite unique and quite personal. What I like about this cotton musk is that it does have, there's two pieces to it which I really enjoy. It has a slight sweetness, and it also has a very delicate floral, which is, to my nose, is rosy. I did some investigating. It definitely, well, I don't know, definitely. I just saw that there was, some people have commented also that there's rose in there. And so I get this sort of, between that molecular musk and then this slight sweetness intermingled with that rosy touch. It's just sublime. Let me just give you, I've been now wearing it for about maybe 6-7 hours. The other part I love about it too is it does have that clean laundry piece to it, but not so pronounced. Sometimes I find those clean laundry scents, like Lavomatic, I mentioned Lavomatic last week. It has almost like, not metallic, but it has a sharpness there. There's like a sharp note that's part of it. Whereas here, it's a lot more skin-like, it's a lot more delicate, but it does have that sort of laundry element to it. And as I said, there is a bit of a sweetness. I love it. This is a big recommendation, Monegal's Cotton Musk, something that I would recommend you check out. I wrote here, it's clean, it's laundry bright, it's sweet musky and floral touches. They're the pieces that I find that, and it makes me happy. Every time I wear it, it's something that just makes me happy, and something that is, as I mentioned, chameleon-like to enjoy such an eclectic city like New York. And again, I want to be at Scentfest. Sorry, Scent Explorer, but having said that though, actually Scentfest in the back of my brain, because I have been in contact with Sebastian. So the next fragrance is to go to San Francisco. I want to go so badly to Scentfest. I pitched it twice to Kevin. Gives you an idea how itchy I am to jump on a plane. And twice Kevin's like, he calls it, he's talking me off the ledge. Because I'm like, I've already like mapped out flights and did a full costing and everything. And twice he said, I have to, you know, the second time I did it, he's like, am I talking you off this ledge again, am I? He goes, when's the, anyway. So I have been talking with Sebastian. We're going to be doing an episode together, and I want to promote, obviously, the work that he's doing with Scentfest. I think it's very exciting. I don't know if you guys have seen the number of brands that are connected to what he's doing there. So I'd love to go there. San Francisco is a city that I absolutely adore. Years ago, I think like we would almost do a pilgrimage every year to San Francisco. So San Francisco, there's a vibe to the place. In speaking with Sebastian, he's also saying that even in summer, San Francisco has because of the fog that rolls in and all the rest of it, it does keeps it into a nice, cool sort of atmosphere. I would recommend to you Crab Apple Blossom. This fragrance is divine. This, if you haven't experienced this fragrance yet, I strongly recommend go out and test. People call it marine-like. Yeah, sure, it does have like a saltiness in there. I actually wrote this, true story, and I'll take a photo of it. I don't know what's in it. Well, I wrote don't know, but I like it. So yes, I can see the notes, but I don't get the feeling from what I'm seeing on these notes as to what I'm experiencing. Where is it? Here. The other thing too is that whenever I've always worn this as I do go on holidays with this. So this is something, if I'm going somewhere, whether it's into the country, so we sometimes do a little bit of a country retreat, to going out somewhere sunny or going out to, actually I do think of something watery, this is a great fragrance as a companion. It does have this beautiful bergamot, lemon, sort of sugariness on that opening. It does have a touch of green as it moves through. I do get that salty accord. I have read that there is crab apple blossom. At the end of the day, it is what's taken from an original recipe that was part of the Crown Perfumery Co. Clive Christian have sort of sort of reformulated to a degree for more modern times, but crab apple blossom's in there. I don't know what crab apple blossom actually smells like. I do have, and I don't know whether it's inception or for real, but I do get a slight fruity touch to it. And I do think of like an apple, but that is more of a crispy apple. And again, so I go back, I don't know, but I like it. So it's without sort of looking at notes and giving you that breakup, the feeling is sunshine. The feeling is an urban landscape. So you are walking around an urban space. The feeling is that there is water not too far away. The feeling is that you are in a place where there's beautiful light and there is a sense of uplift. And it's just a happy fragrance. It's just a really sort of joyful fragrance to wear. I do find too that when it comes to its potency and power, I'm probably getting about 8 hours. It's a moderate sillage. However, the moment I sweat it, it reignites it. All fragrances reproduce themselves, they begin to sweat, but I find that some really sort of accelerate themselves, and Crab Apple Blossom is one of those that really emerge really sharp. Yes, okay, I might stop here, and that gives the camera a chance to reboot. Boom, boom, bing, boom, boom, urban. Okay, yeah, so I wrote here, urban sunshine, watery effect. These are the feelings that I get from it. Urban sunshine, a watery effect, green parks. So there's that green touch that I mentioned, and now you are well dressed. This is something that you're not dressed down for. It's a nice casual sort of. This is not something that you would just go weed in the garden with. This is something you go out with, something you celebrate with in sunshine. I'll be back. I'm going to stop and I'll reboot. I'm back. So the next location that manifesting is Japan. I would love to go back to Japan, and it's obvious. So when I'm thinking about Japan, it's Tokyo and Osaka that I'm thinking of. So it's obvious that you would bring Sonyi by Meo Fushuni, beautiful tatami mat with rice and nice sandalwood, aromatic and cedar-like in its dry downs. It's wonderful. However, that's too obvious. So what I'd like to put forward to you is, in fact, Legno di Pepe. It's a Labsolue fragrance. Interestingly, I'm surprised that there's not a lot of talk about Labsolue. This is a brand that I discovered last year. I like their fragrance. I think they're very well constructed. There are some master perfumers across all their range. The concept is something that this is what I love, which is find a raw note in nature and now construct a fragrance to represent it as a perfume. In this case here, it's about like a black peppery wood. That's the essence of it. There's not that I don't believe there is you extract from a pepper tree. In fact, what they're doing is a dry peppery wood is what they're seeking. I had a look at the notes. They're very much aligned to that sort of construct. When it opens, it does have a beautiful black pepper, so that sort of woodiness, but with the spicy element, with a touch of sweetness in there. Not vanilla. It's more, actually I wrote it down. It has a boom, 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 caramel. So it's like a not burnt sugar, but it does have like a caramel sort of, and I think amber. Amber is the color, similar to, I guess, the bottle, that you get from it. So it has this beautiful sweetness with that black pepper, woody sort of facet mixed in together. As it begins to dry down, you do go into more of the cedar-like, more woody, sort of, not forested, think of like pencil shavings, you know, that sort of crisp, I'm using the word crisp again, but that sort of that sharp aromatic woody scent profile that you get. And there it is. So it's a sweet black pepper with a touch of that dry woodiness coming through. This would be magic in Japan. I find that in traveling there previously, the Japanese are not really into big, loud fragrances. They're very respectful about space around you. I remember that when I first got there, I mean, something as simple as get on the elevator and you always lean to the right or the left so that you leave a very clear path for people who want to walk. I remember, I mean, I just never seen this. People here in Australia, we go scatter everywhere. You have to, excuse me, as you're trying to get past if you're in a hurry. Whereas it was almost like, it's like, just not regimented, it's very streamlined. Boom, get on the elevator. So everyone's respectful about those who are around them. So when it comes to perfume, it's not something that they really sort of push. You know, they don't have big, loud fragrances. And I find that something like this would be perfect for that atmosphere. In Tokyo, this would be magic. So urban, this slight woodiness to it. There are a lot of temples scattered everywhere. I mean, you can go to Osaka and you see these beautiful temples, but even in Tokyo itself, you've seen there's a lot of beautiful wooden temples that are in the landscape. But this would also be great when you go to Osaka and then you go down to Kyoto and Nara and all that sort of stuff. So this is a fragrance that will take you across your whole Japanese or Japan sort of experience. And really, I want to go back to Japan. The idea is that I would love to go to Japan at Christmas time. And so this would also be fantastic. That peppery woodiness would play really well in winter, but it also plays really well in a warmer sort of landscape. Although this would definitely, it's more like a spring, not in full summer. This would work really well in spring, a mild summery day, or in wintertime, magic. And I wrote here that I do spray a little bit more. I find that the fragrance, all the Labsolues are designed this way. They're not about big, pushing fragrances that can punch through walls. They're really about a statement of you for your own personal and those who come in close sort of contact to you. So you'll find that the sillage is moderate to low, and when it comes to its longevity, you're probably getting about 5 to 6 hours. I do spray about 5 times on this fragrance here. Normally I spray 3. And I find that then takes me into the 6, 7 hour sort of period. So a great fragrance to take out with you. Boom. The next one that I would recommend, now this is going into more warmer climate and a bit more humid and a bit more sort of heat in the air, and I would say Wulong Cha. This is fantastic. This is for Singapore. Again, manifesting, I'd love to be in Singapore. I would love to catch up with Vera again, but there's also a really great community for NFC, Olfactive Traveler. We've got a lot of people who have really sort of embraced the brand. So I'd love to go there and do a bit of a meetup. It would be awesome. And I will be wearing Wulong Cha. This one here, if you are going into more sort of very hot, sort of humid, a bit of tropic, something a little bit more where there's heat and humidity in the air, Wulong Cha is gorgeous for that. I find that the opening has this great citrusy green sort of element to it. There is a vibrance in the opening. I actually even put it in as a citrus fragrance to give you an idea. So I feel like that sort of sharp, citrusy peel that you get sort of carries itself through the fragrance. It is a celebration, obviously, of tea, and so you are then getting, for me, I get a blend of that sort of a little bit of that green touch to it, but with that fragrant black tea element also coming through. And it's a happiness. It's a fragrance of happiness. This is another one where the more I sweat, the more it reemerges and sort of reproduces itself, and almost even brings back those early citrus and not petitgrain notes, but those sort of greenish sort of notes that are in that opening. I wrote here, boom, 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 boom. So when it begins to dry down even more, you are getting a slight earthy, that fragrant tea, but I wrote umami. Now, I don't think umami is a scent, but it's definitely a taste profile. But it made me think, I'm like, why do I think this sort of umami-ness? And I think I go back, I do feel that it does have an Asian sort of touch to it. And it could be the fact of that tea, of that more, the robust, fragrant nature of that oolong tea that's in there. Anyway, gorgeous fragrance. 10 hours without a problem, big, massive push. The more you sweat, the more this thing opens up. And in a place like the tropics or Singapore, Wulong cha is magical. Now, the truth is this, and I know this sounds like, you know, all right, play the smallest violin in the world, please. Go. There it is. That when I'm traveling around, I am working, and this is the hard part because it looks really super exotic. And I've said this to a friend once when where are you going? I'm like, oh, I'm going to Paris, and then this, and they're like, wow, that sounds so cool. I'm like, no, it's work, bro. And he's like, work, but you're going to Paris and you're going to here. And I'm like, yeah, but it's work. You're constantly, you know, like, okay, where are we filming today? Who am I meeting? You know, so there's always, you're on guard. I think you're always ready to leap, essentially. So I just want to go on holiday. I don't even want to look at a phone. I don't want to look at a camera. I don't want to just, so anyway, so I'm manifesting, projecting in the future. I just want to go on holiday. I just want to take a break. What would you take? This one here. This is, so for those who know 40 Knots by Xerjoff, awesome fragrance. It does have a watery effect to that fragrance, but there are some, it's an unusual fragrance. So 40 Knots is a super unusual fragrance because it has this sort of like spiced apple, cinnamon on its opening. It has these woody elements to it. There is an amber touch, but there is also a C accord in there too. This one here beats it. This is 40 Noeuds. I don't even know how to say it. Noeuds. 40 Noeuds. Now, the reason why I love this fragrance, and this for me is, I smell this and it is holiday. I think of relaxation. Even though comically I wasn't relaxing, you can only buy, my understanding is you can only buy it from the boutique in Monaco. Xerjoff have a boutique there. This is a store exclusive, essentially. We were in Monaco for the France tour that we did in 2024. We went to Monaco. This day, even though I was working, because we were there with our guests and we had an event with Paris Monte Carlo, this day, actually our whole Monaco stay was smooth. It was like custard. It was super smooth, from the restaurant booking and the way that we got treated and the way that the event, the dinner, that how that went, and the guests were happy, the hotel we stayed at, the service that we got from then Paris Monte Carlo, and that was just like, so for me, I feel like it felt like a break, you know. I had a chance to just relax of an evening and not be like on guard. So this was one that we bought when we were in Monaco, and it's my just super relaxed. It feels good wearing it. This is a great fragrance if you're going to somewhere sophisticated. And I wrote down a number of places. So you could go to a tropical island, you could go to an urban sort of adventure, so beautiful hotel and you're overseeing the city with all its lights at night. I can see myself in Hong Kong with this. I can see myself on a tropical island. I can see myself in Monaco. This fragrance here is that there is a sophistication to it. It's not a dressed down. It's a very, it has a unique scent profile to it. And I think the difference is it borrows some of those 40 Knots element, one being that watery effect or that sea salt accord that's in there. Early on, and I don't know whether it's imagined or real, but I do get a little bit of that spicy cinnamon, apple sort of texture to it. It does go away. And then what I get as it begins to dry down is a rosy effect. I do get a rose that seems to come forward. But I also get these, there is geranium. Geranium, yes. So geranium is a great floral that has pieces of green. So it has a very sharp greenness to it, but also has pieces of a rose. During one of the France tours that we did, we were in the south of in Grasse, and we went to a farm, farm, and we had a botanist with us, and we were able to smell different things in nature. Now I remember her grabbing the geranium, and this balance between green, sharpy, with that rosy effect coming through. It was wild to smell it in nature, and this is what I get here. That rose comes through, but then there's also this green effect that comes around it too. It's a beautiful fragrance, and another one where it's hard to define completely. And purposely, Xerjoff have not disclosed the notes. It's more of a feeling, and the feeling is sophistication. It's a feeling of relax, a feeling of you are, you just, it's, I guess maybe also celebration, but again, I'm drawing a lot to Monaco. I'm thinking of my memories of Monaco. I wrote here, it's a statement maker, and this is one, when I'm wearing it, Sandra just has a radar for it, and I am getting constant compliments. I wore it the other day, and she's like, I love your fragrance. I could smell it from miles away. It does have great push. And all through that day, she's like, oh, I can smell it again. Oh, that's beautiful. I can smell it again. So it's one of those fragrances that has great presence. It does have great longevity, 10, 12 hours without a problem. And it's let's take a break. Let's go on holiday. All right, last one. Last fragrance that I would recommend to you. This is anywhere in the world, but if you're coming to Melbourne, and this is the one that we're wearing at the moment, or Sandra at least, this is Guidance by Amouage. This is a classic, and I don't think there's no surprises here. I'm not telling you anything that most people don't already know. If you haven't experienced this, I'd strongly recommend it. It has a beautiful balance of some core notes that seem to come in, come out, and they sort of weave into, so they interweave throughout the fragrance. So one is pear, one is a nuttiness. So you get that hazelnut. I get it at the start, but I'm also smelling it deeper into the actual fragrance. Definitely a rose, definitely sandalwood, and there was one more. Or was that it? Rose, bing, bing, boom, sandalwood, pear. And pear is the other one. So there is this, when it opens, that pear, nutty, hazelnut sort of interplay with each other. But for me, I'm still getting that sandalwood rosy effect sort of coming through the background. There's also vanilla. That was the next one. There is a vanilla touch to the fragrance, and that vanilla touch weaves itself in and out from the start all the way to the end. This fragrance is a monster. So my only warning to you is, this is your day going out. You know, if you're going somewhere that is constrained, I definitely wouldn't take it to Japan, for instance. This fragrance has the ability to just permeate through the air. It also has the ability to linger on clothes, on skin for 24 plus hours. There's even been times, so this is Sandra's fragrance at the moment. She is ODing on this, which no complaints from me, because no matter where I am or what's happening, I'm smelling this beautiful guidance sort of complexity of scent profiles that is this fragrance coming to life. I haven't sprayed it because it would overpower everything I've got on me, but I strongly recommend it. Again, no surprises here. This is something that everybody, I'm gonna say, is more than aware of. And one, if you're in Melbourne, this is the one that you want to be wearing. Boom. And there it is. That's the fragrances that I would recommend as you travel around the world. And these are my manifesting, my manifesting fragrance. Let me be there. So yes, I missed out on Nexons. I'm okay with that, but let me be at these other places, please. I'm gonna stop one last time. We're gonna stop doing the wrap up, spinning the wheel, and I'll be back. I'm back. All right, before I spin the wheel, I would like to talk about movie scents. This was an idea that I put forward last week. It's actually resonated really well. So I'm already getting a number of recommendations. So if you haven't seen what the concept is about, it's grab a movie, The Shining in this case. What is it? You know, what do the characters smell like? What does a certain scene smell like, or the place, and reinterpreting it in fragrance, essentially. We've had a lot of suggestions come forward. Some of them that I really like, and I'd love you to throw out some more suggestions for the next movie scent. That way I can start doing my research. I really love the Grand Hotel Budapest. I think that is like and someone even said, I dare you. I'm like, I'm up for the challenge. So I really love that one. If you haven't seen that film, it's just a fantastic film. Really well put together. The other one that I really like is Godfather. I think there's a lot of variety and sort of moments in there. But put forward your suggestions. I'd love to see, maybe we can even do a tally and make it very democratic in that I'll do yeah, let's do it like that. Let's make it super democratic. You guys, it's for the people. So I'll put like a voting, like a poll, and then you tell me what you would like the next one to be about. Okay. So now what I'd love to do is I'm going to spin the wheel. All right, so let's spin this wheel. But before I spin for the big prize, let me spin for members. Now, to become a member, it costs you only $4. Super cheap, great value. You get access to the NFC Discord. You get constant thank yous. I mean, this positive vibe that goes out into the world. Every morning as we come into the office, we do a thank you to everybody who's a member. And then the last part is that every month I spin the wheel. I'm going to spin twice, or 2 times, and we begin. So if it lands on you, for those who know the drill, you tell me what you like. I'll put together a range of samples and I'll send it to you anywhere in the world. Catherine Cole, a winner. All right, so Catherine, reach out to me, DM me, let me know what you love, and I'll get that out for you. I'm just gonna turn this down a bit. So I always spin twice. Anything, I think actually we had a lot of new people join us, which I'm really happy about. Good luck. Oversprayers Anonymous. All right, so reach out to me, both you guys, send me a message, DM me, here's my handle, and let me know what kind of fragrances you like. I normally like to curate, I say 10, but I get excited and I throw in a whole bunch of other samples. And back, all right, here's the big one, here's the wheel. This is for the grand prize. Boom, and as he reaches across. Now, if it lands on you and you've got the 3 wedge, you'll get both of these prizes. If it lands on you and you only get the 1 wedge, you get this. Good luck. Oop, dropped my computer. Oh, Sam, my man. Brother, this is what you get. So congratulations to Sam. Sam actually was kind enough to do an awesome photo, and with the mate, actually you included a mate that you purchased. I had some mates that I was selling. It was just a little to see what happens. You've been an awesome supporter of the channel. My brother, you're getting both these things. So here is the extrait, the electric wood extrait. Awesome fragrance, you're gonna love it, especially coming into your summer. It's a great summer fragrance of an evening. And this baby, wait till you're gonna get the Traveler, but we'll talk. Bada bing, there it is. Thank you everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. This is me, as I said, sort of manifesting out to the world, trying to see if I can get the universe to join me on this, you know. I've got the plans, I've packed my bags, I just need the universe to give me the thumbs up. Thanks everyone, hope you enjoyed that. I said that already. I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Bye everyone.